Hey y'all, this is Church from Church's Intake. So let's get into another one. I just want people to realize that we are in the end. You know, the falling away time that people was talking about years ago in the Bible, and we just had Thanksgiving and everything else like that. We just had the election, but you have to know that we are at that pivotal point when they said the great falling away from the church. And by this new election that we had, this is definitely going to bring out those demons within certain people. Like, they're not going to be able to hide anymore. And it's because of the character of a person. And by having a certain person in office and, things transpiring, that also helps you to identify who was right or righteous with God and who was not. There's going to be other subtleties that's going to shift in the atmosphere that's going to show you, like the Spirit is showing, manifesting, through the good of people, and also the demons is manifesting through the evil in certain folks. So, some people used to be able to suppress their demons very well, you know, not like not like how, someone be like, I don't like this, that, and the third, but they might not even like you. But because we wasn't at that type of time in I guess in the world, we'll say, like, we weren't at the time where God was exposing all the evil darkness that's amongst us in this land. Like, a lot of people still don't know how deep it really is, and it's very deep. It's so deep, it goes and cuts through the core of your own family. It's that deep. Not saying that everybody's family is in this position or predicament, but the majority of the people, let's say chosen ones or people that's claiming to be righteous or wants to follow the right way of God, the people that your family, your friends, the familiars. That's why they say familiar. You're familiar with the spirit man of people. Spirit's been roaming this earth for many years, thousands of years, not thousands, but a few thousand. Shoot, what is the earth? About 7, almost 7. So you have to know that these entities never left this earth. When the flood happened, these spirits, the flesh of the spirit was gone, not the actual spirit of these supposed giants that was here in their time. Their spirits is still here on this earth. So they know you. They know your family members. They know your relatives. They know you. And then that's how people can be like, yo, like, it's like I knew you since you was a kid or something. How you meet a new supposed friend or whatever. It just feels like we've been linking up. It just seems like we know each other. No. You, yourself, your human flesh don't know that person. But the spirit does know. The spirit does know. That's why you can relate. That's why when you be like, man, that's like my brother, yo, like we just clicked up and it was just like pop, pop, pop. Because y'all spirits are familiar with one another. So saying if you was like, having anxiety, depression, and all these things, maybe you're a hater, whatever, like two haters is going to love each other, especially if they hating against another person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to learn to know what's around you. Like, a lot of people don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that's going on that's getting exposed right in front of our faces. And one of the biggest things was y'all was mad about who the president that God's using. Oh, God ain't using this man, blah, blah, blah. How do you know? You God? Most of y'all don't even have a relationship with God to know who God would use when God would use a person like Nebuchadnezzar. You God or what? Or are you supposed to follow God? And God can use any supposed person that you think could be a demon or don't have or he's a racist and this, that, and the third. But if you do the math and you did a little bit of research, a lot of that stuff don't even add up. So you perpetrating God, you're playing as God, and God's exposing you because you have hate in your heart. If you was truly a follower of Christ, there would be no man, no woman on this earth that you should be fearful of, that you should be like, yo, this person is like, let's say it, they was going after the bull Trump, talking about he's Hitler. So now you hear it on your TV tube because the TV tube is out actually conditioning you. It's called TV programming, which is conditioning you to believe in something that you never even researched. But the spirit within you feels that comfort, like, yeah, talk dirty about this person. Let me hate too. Oh yeah, this person, all this, that, and the third. We got the receipts, null and void. Everything talking about null and void. All these things that transpired on my man, all null and void. But God can't use that man, right? Nah, God can't use you. God won't build you up. God won't open your eyes to see certain things that's going on. Because guess what? To run this country, I'm going to tell you this. To run this country, it's beyond just being a believer in Christ. Because this is a wicked country. So you need to know someone that actually knows what's going on behind the scenes. You can't just be no person that came from the church, right? Supposedly, because we can get into another discussion about how the church is operating to this day. But you can't be a person that's going to church. You follow God, right? You do everything that God wants you to do. Now, there's certain things that reason why God used other people to get his thing across, his point across, or his message through. Sometimes he might even use the straight up devil to get his message through. Did he not use the devil to get his message through to Job? And then Job still manifested greatness because of the temptations that he had went through and overcame. And who was testing him? God and the devil. So let's stop acting like we know how God operates, because we don't. What God wants you to do is to start seeing things and realizing about things and being more discerning. He's used certain people to discern certain things. Like God using Trump to discern that you people that say that y'all with him, if you a child of God, you're supposed to love one another always. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a true child of God, you've been through some stuff that makes you know that you're supposed to love one another, even though people transpiring up against you, doing you wrong. Now, if I was to tell some of the things that people done to me, you know what I'm saying? Straight demonoids, not a Trump. That's not Trump. These is people that's friends and family in your family. Demons. And when you start to learn how to maneuver around certain demons and seeing why certain folk don't want certain people in office to change a scenario, it all starts to make sense. But you be like, nah, he ain't righteous. He ain't say I love God, or he ain't read that Bible verse, but God be using these people. God will use a person. He says, I use the dumb for the wise. I use the meek for the loud. So he's using things that you would say that couldn't be God, just to prove you wrong, just to show you that he is God. And he can use whoever he feels like using. And guess what? The right people, when you have a relationship with God, you be like, man, God, why did you use this person? And God will let you know why he used them. And then you'll be putting two and two together, like, because you're a human, you don't understand the spiritualities, how things operate, and why he would have to use somebody like a Trump to get certain things done is because he's been around that whole circle. Y'all don't even know because the veil's still on most of the people. He only opening the eyes to the people that want their eyes open. And everyone else that eyes is closed. You can't talk. How could I talk to you if you ain't ready? How could I tell you that this man is the man that's going to help things get back? Not back to where you think that everything's going to be great. That's hocus pocus. That's a lie. But he can make it that it's a structure of things. Like we live in a land that there is laws. And we trying to be, like if you're looking at it, like people are trying to be so lawless. You can't tell me the preacher man gonna be better fit for something that he never even dealt with, don't know how to handle money, don't know how to be with these elites, don't know how to talk to them or none of this. But you'll tell me this person, or identity politics. Like, come on, man. Now we going off of color. We ain't going off of what they stand for, what they out here to push, what's the agenda, but we go off of color. That's blasphemous. That's straight up against God. God already put that color thing to rest way back in the day with Moses and his family members. Remember when he gave them what's leprosy? Made them turn white, turned the sister white? Yeah. People be thinking because you are the people. I'll tell you, you are the people of God. These melanated beings out here, but you ain't the only ones. You were supposed to be chosen. You were selected by God to worship God. And then you backtracked. And that's why we got all of these other things going on. You fell back off of God. Got too hot for you. You know what I'm saying? Other people was worshiping these other deities, and you seen that they was getting money off of the goofiness. So you started going that way. And then you lost the way. And then God, you know what? Blinded us. And bringing us back now. Because we're now at the end. That's why we're coming back. But he don't want us to come back and doing all of this evilness with the witchcraft and all of this goofy rah stuff. People got to start waking up. And God is using Trump to wake up the right ones. Because you're going to be able to use this guy or other situations to figure out the person that's claiming to be all righteous, all loving, so pure, but they so evil and wicked within. They don't have pure hearts, because if you had a pure heart, a bull like Trump being in office it wouldn't even bother you. But it bothers a lot of people's demons. So you're going to see these same people that's hating, or same people that's pushing, oh, he's this, that, and the third, but you claim to be of God, but you pushing out hate, not love. We already know you're a gatekeeper. We already know the gatekeepers was getting paid to promote Kamala. Come on, man. The real ones know that they use the TV to keep you guys under a curse, under witchcraft, under a spell. When you're programmed by these news outlets, and you're watching it repetitiously every day, they're smashing hate at you. As much as you might think that it's not getting into your mind or your subconscious mind, it really is, which is really destroying you as a person. That's why back in the day your grandmother said the TV is wickedness. You didn't get it back then. I didn't even get it. But I know now. I know that is. And if you use it in the wrong aspect, or if you let this stuff manipulate you, you're going to be consumed. And that's what the devil wants, you to be consumed. That's why people are so starstruck with, oh, I got to watch my football game. I got to watch these basketball games. I got to do this. I got to watch my favorite TV show. All these things. means nothing. If you don't got a relationship with God, or you don't know that these same things that you use and could be a weapon, and people are weaponizing them, especially your government's weaponizing these things to come up against you, you might look at these things a little different. I haven't watched, football, basketball, none of these things lately in like the past few years, at least about almost 3 years now. Doesn't bother me. Now, I used to be a fanatic, I guess. Oh, I gotta watch my football game. Oh, I gotta watch my basketball team. You know, they playing, da da da. Nah, man. There's way more things that you gotta be tuned to knowing, because we in that time, man. The falling away is here, man. A lot of people gonna keep on perpetrating, like, you know, they got a relationship with God, going to church. Like, God definitely gonna go ramshack on the church. Like, the church, whoo, it's about to go through, how do we call it, a makeover. A lot of these people, man, be claiming that they righteous, loving Christ and all this, that, and the third, but will kick the next person back in a heartbeat. They'll perpetrate like they love you and so loving and so for you, until, you know what I mean, that you ain't in their presence no more, and they telling the other homeboys or homegirls all this, the stuff that you told them in secret. It's trying to expose you, trying to make you look like you the bad person. Yeah, all that gossiping and stuff, that's all in the church, especially the black church, going crazy. What do you think God gonna do with y'all? Like, God's about to go ham on y'all right now. Like, now. Like, not yesterday, today, and so on and so forth. God's coming. And all the ones that people thinking like, yo, you righteous, they righteous, they ain't righteous. And God's about to expose the unrighteous. And then the unrighteous going to try to put other people in the, you know, the pot with them. Like, they ain't righteous either. All I can say is, man, make sure you got a relationship. Make sure you right with God, because a lot of people don't have that. They don't have a relationship with God. That's why they don't have no discernment. That's why when things transpire in the government and stuff, and God, you know, some people say, oh, you can't have church and state. Who runs this earth? Well, where did God say that you shouldn't indulge in church with state? Where do they? Only a gatekeeper will not want you to be knowledgeable on what's going on in your government. Only a gatekeeper, evil doer that's trying to manipulate you to a way will have you saying, don't research this or don't research that. Or only a gatekeeper will only be the one that's got his Bible open, trying to research new scriptures, and don't want you to open up your Bible. You get what I'm saying? Do your own research, because the people out here that you think is supposedly for you, they not. Only for their best interest. If it's the best interest of them, sure. If it's not, they not. A lot of people out here trying to scandal people, trying to get over on people. You cut them off, they're trying to weasel their way back in through other family members and friends. And then when you know that there's a spiritual aspect to all of these things, it's like, yo, I know I had to cut this person off, but by default, this person has to go too, because this person also chills with that person. And if I'm dealing with this person and this person, you know, and I don't want to deal with that other person, this person still got connections. That other person can still get insight on me from this other being. But if your mind ain't right, or if you ain't thinking, shoot, you'll let that, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to cut other people off by default, just because it's a spiritual aspect to things that certain people won't ever get. And they'd be mad at you like, yo, why you think you so special? Nah, I don't think I'm so special. You know what I do think, though? I'm not going to let y'all get over on me. I'm not going to let y'all think that I'm going to be cool with being bamboozled by one of y'all. Nah. Mm-mm. We woke. Real woke, for real. And they get mad when you a real one that you can see, and you ain't even supposed to be like that. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can see very well. Spiritually. No doubt. No cap. You know? God talks to me. He talks to his ones. He talks to us. And then there's these other ones that say they got a relationship. What does God say? What does he say in the Bible? Away from me, I never knew you. It has nothing to do about you going to church. It has everything to do with you building a relationship with God. But people are so keen on being in the church that you went to the church. The church ain't going to save you. Only one that can save you is God. Church can't save you. You can go to that church building every day and be a wicked demon. You can say that you're tarrying and praying all day long. But God knows. Me as a human being, I could care less. You tell me that you this or that. When the trumpet sounds, we'll know. You'll know. So you got to watch out. You know, we just had the little holiday, you know. The reason why I'm coming in is because, you know, people talking about four something movement. The 4B movement or something. Women out here talking about cutting their hair off, not talking to men because of an election. You know there's got to be something spiritual with that. But you also got to know that there's an agenda with that. So these lesbians, you know, these LGBTQ people, these fascists, these feminists, yes, those women that jump right on it. Anybody that's gay or whatever, they loving women, they definitely gonna use that tool to get these men up out of here. Like, forget them dudes, let's not give them nothing. Like, come on, put two and two together. Who's the leader? The leader is what? They don't even deal with dudes. So it's not hard for them to say no to men. They spirits already got them, subdued them to believe in that, you know, men are evil. Only women, like, but you know, you read your book, what to say about the women? Yeah, God talks about the women. Don't get it twisted. So just that, you know, people, when they voted, they was talking about, you know, oh, I voted for Kamala, my husband voted for Trump, we getting a divorce. Like, there was no love there, fam. Y'all didn't love each other, you know. Y'all was together for another reason. And it definitely wasn't love, because if me voting for a specific person and you voted on the other way, and you trying to tell me that we need a divorce now, man, you was never with me. If we was to say that we needed to do the same thing all the time, then that's not right either. Because I'm not thinking for myself and you're not thinking for yourself. But if one election can have you crashing out on your whole family because they ain't vote the same way you did, you ain't love that person. And that person didn't love you too. Say that. Put it on both aspects. But yeah, it's about to get crazy out here, man. It's getting crazy about a day. And people just, you gotta wake up, man, because there's so much stuff out here that's just being exposed. And God wants his kids to be knowing. My people perish for lack of knowledge, not knowing, not studying for themselves, not taking this time. Even if you was on the other side and you're like, yo, why would God do this? Why would God put this man in office? That means you need to pray more and figure out why God would. And where is your relationship that you don't even know this already? Right? And another thing is, God is trying to build his people up for discernment. Like some of his people is ready to go. They know what it is. We there. Falling away is happening. He's bringing people up. He's changing the tune. There's a lot of people in the church right now going through it. The people that's already high up getting knocked down. And he's putting the people that was down up. What does it say? The last shall be first and the first shall be last. See, people you're trying to take this Bible, right? And you're trying to be so like, oh, this went like this and this goes like that. But even through all these different things, it's like a puzzle. And the only one that's the master plan of the whole puzzle is God. So the only way you can get true insight on the plan, to being a part of the plan, is you have to go to God. You can't think with your human flesh, because your human flesh is going to have biases on either side. So it can't be like that. It's got to be, hold on. It's got to be, between you and God, building with you and God. And it's just like when you have knowing of certain things, like shoot, some of this stuff that's transpiring right now, but even like TD Jakes and all that, like I've been told people about certain things years ago. I don't even want to claim to be like, yo, I got it. I was the first one on it. No, God enlightened me years ago, back in 2012. Not even just about Jakes, about a lot of celebrities. Like, shoot, I know what's in their dark closet because the visions that he showed me, man, like I know how evil some of these folks really are, that y'all look up to, calling them, that's your celebrity, that's that's my idol and all of this stupid stuff, and not knowing that these people are really doing some demonic, real wickedness out here. And then he also showing and using other people, but people don't know when God's using them or whatever to expose certain things, because you be like, oh, that guy is not a man of God. But God uses not just people of God. God uses whoever he wants to get the point across. That's where you guys are losing, or especially the people in the church, you're losing this part. He doesn't have to use a churchgoer. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to. He uses the right person for the right circumstances. So if it's the right person for the right circumstances, it doesn't mean that he has to be all righteous to do what God wants him to do. So I'm going to leave that one right there. I haven't been on in a little bit, you know what I mean? Because I got things stirring up myself, trying to get things accomplished. But I still know how these things are progressing. And definitely, trust me, I already know, like, talking about witchcraft and stuff, people are like, oh, yeah. But now, y'all about to see what it really is. Like, yeah, I started speaking on things years ago, man. But then God be like, yo, I don't want you to say this. I don't want you to say that. But then when things are here, then I can say certain things and not be, like, oh, they ain't ready for that yet, Lord. But there's a lot of things that y'all ain't ready for. And there's certain things that God don't want us to expose. He wants it to happen. And then the exposure comes. So that's why it's not always good to, when you're getting word from God, to just spit it out. Because sometimes you might be spitting it out to the enemy, and then the enemy's trying to use that so he can have an upper hand. You got to let certain things transpire so it can be the way that God intended it to be. And yes, friends and family are not safe in 2024 and beyond. And if you haven't got that part yet, you need to talk to God. Like I said, not everybody's friends and family is like this. But if you're trying to follow God, especially we in 2024 now. We about to be 2025. Especially now, you trying to do it the right way? You trying to be in your purpose? Oh man, you're going to get it from left, right, top, and bottom. And it's going to be people that you're familiar with. You're going to use them people first. He's going to also use, the devil also going to use some other folk. But that's why you got to learn how to be more quiet. You got to be more quiet about your moves. You got to be more observant with what you're seeing. You got to listen to what people are saying. And you just can't believe the things that just coming out of their mouth. Actually, when a person says they love you and stuff, take it with a grain of salt. It's better to do it that way. Because they can be saying they love you and with their mouth. Just like God says, they can say it with their mouth. But in that heart, they got no love but hate. So, head on a swivel, man. We here now. We here. And we got to push it. And, the devil's still trying to stop God's movement. But he can't do nothing but use his minions. Minions is getting mad. Don't worry about none of that. Things is going down right now. The falling away is now. It already started. People ain't going to tell you, especially the people in the pulpit, people in the churches, because a lot of them are evil. Now, I would say about 10 years ago, I wouldn't have said that about church folk. But 2024, what I know about the church folk, a lot of wickednesses are going on in the churches. There's witches and warlocks in the churches. You know what I mean? They operate like they're in a fraternity. There's Masons in there. There's a lot of different things that's going on. People are, let's say, some people are loyal to the church, but not loyal to Christ like they are to their church. But I'm going to leave that one right there. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your holidays, weekend. Some people are starting to wake up, and God's starting to separate people from people. Don't be mad about the separation. Embrace it. Grow, because it could be a separation for just a season, or it could be for a lifetime. But God's using this so you can grow and build and get more discernment, more understanding and learning. So take that. This is Church from Church's Intake. God bless.